Mr. Flick. What's up, baby?
Oh, nothing, man. Just lifing.
Lifing. We're going to make it through without some sniffles today.
We're going to try.
Yeah. You. I knew I talked to you. You were on Kentucky, or is it Kentucky Lake?
Yes.
You were fishing, and anyhow, you sound a little bit better now than what you did then.
Yeah, man. Sudafed's a hell of a drug.
It'll work you over. I think that's why all the drug heads go and buy it. Can you buy Sudafed over the counter now?
No, you gotta show them your ID so they can keep a log of it.
They got to keep up with making sure you ain't distributing that stuff.
Yeah, or cooking it, whatever they do with it.
Whatever they do with it all. Well, all right, go ahead and introduce people. Brennan Flick, glad you're here. Tell people, tell me a little bit about yourself and what you're doing.
Brennan Flick, I fish on the opens right now. And on the side, I work offshore. I rig boats. I do guiding, do electronics classes, just any and all things fishing.
Yeah.
And then trying to make a living on the side.
Yeah, I know it. Well, you're doing pretty good. So what, are you placed, it was like, I may have read it wrong, but is it like fourth or whatever in the opens?
Yeah, I'm fourth in AOI right now.
Okay.
I'm 11 points behind Aoki. So hopefully we can catch them after this next one.
Yeah, no joke. Well, and you placed 15th on Kentucky Lake.
Yeah. Man, it was my first time being there, first time chasing smallmouth, and man, I had a blast. Although it was a lot easier in practice than it was in the Derby. We had a short practice. We went from, normally we get 3 full days of practice. Well, day 3 of practice, I got out there on the main river I might have been out there for an hour. And then I started having trouble keeping water out of the boat.
Oh, man.
It was blowing. I don't know how hard it was blowing, but it was all of it. So, and everything I was fishing was on the main river, and I couldn't do anything off of it. So I just decided I put it back on the trailer, which is something I never do. But I knew I was spinning my wheels doing everything else. And the place I launched in Blood Creek, and it was in the creek, it was the coldest, dirtiest water I've seen all week. It was like 41 degrees, and I couldn't see like 2 inches in the water. I'm like, man, if they're in there, y'all can have them. Like, I'm not doing this.
So that was day 3 of practice. You didn't get to fish a whole lot, and I know the weather's a little bit rough, but during the actual tournament, during the Derby, weather, it got pretty good for you, didn't it? Or was it still rough?
The first day was actually weird. So I spent my day 2 of practice. I kind of had a little deal going, and I really didn't know how good it was. I thought my areas that I had found, I thought they would go further, meaning I thought I would get more bites in these areas and I wouldn't have to run new water as much. But the sections of the river I picked that I could be the most protected from the wind on those days. Because in all honesty, I didn't figure it was going to be much of a factor the first day. And the second day was definitely going to be a factor. And I wanted to make sure I was going to be good both days. Well, for me, it wound up being more of a factor the first day because apparently the wind blows in circles out there. I don't understand how it works. I had rollers coming over the back deck the first day for at least half the day, and I was facing my boat into the current, and the wind was coming the opposite direction. And the wind was pushing the boat harder against the current than the current was pushing me back.
Goodness.
And if you didn't present the bait down current, you can forget it. Like, you wasn't getting a bite. So that first day wound up being super challenging. And looking back, that's why I only got 7 bites the first day, and I don't know how many bites I had the second day, but it was a bunch. But the second day was a lot easier to work. Like, we had more wind, but it was coming with the current, so you can keep the boat positioned correctly the whole day. Made it easier to work.
Yeah. So what are you thinking through all that? Like, you fish forever. So how old are you?
35.
Okay, 35. So you fished, I'm assuming, like everybody around here. And you're from Morgan City, so you're from South.
Dude, to be honest with you, man, I really didn't take fishing seriously until I moved up here.
Okay.
I played professional baseball before I lived up here.
Okay.
So I was with the Giants for several years. And
I didn't know that.
Like, I fished during that time, but dude, I owned 2 rods. And they both had black and blue jigs on them. And it was 12 months a year.
Yeah.
They if I caught them, that's what I caught them on.
How often do you fish with black and blue jigs now?
Oh, dude. If I'm lucky, maybe once a year.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not that much these days, unfortunately.
So black and blue jig or watermelon red brush hog, what are you picking up?
Oh, jig,
Yeah?
for sure.
Yeah?
Yeah, dude. Man, I just feel like most of the lakes we go to these days, man, it's just, they're highly pressured. They're smart. I don't like anything now that I feel like if they get too good of a look at it, it's going to cost me bites. And that's, man, unfortunately, jig fits into that category. Same thing with the spinnerbait.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I about don't even travel with a spinnerbait box anymore. So I just feel like they see it too good.
Yeah. What about chatterbaits?
Nah, I'll throw the fire. I'll play the jig, especially around grass.
Yeah.
And I threw that a pretty good bit on Kentucky Lake, especially in like the crawl colors around the rocks.
Yeah.
Man, I figured there'd be some largemouth up there that would do it. And there was some guys catching them up shallow like that, but man, I gave it 6 hours between my 2 days of practice. I never got it going.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, I'm all in out on the main river.
Yeah.
You know, I got what I got.
Yeah. So you play professional baseball. You moved up here from somewhere in Morgan City, that's South Louisiana, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I couldn't remember if it was Central South. So you moved up from Morgan City to here, what, 5, 6, 7 years ago, something like that?
And it would have been like 2016, 2017, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And it was either that first or second year. It's probably about when I started fishing tournaments or when I started getting into it.
Yeah.
And it was actually Zach Poole was the first guy I started fishing tournaments around
Raptor
here.
P Custom Knives, hit your boy up online.
And that's when the bug bit me.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's pretty bad. It's worse than any drug there is.
Worse than that Sudafed.
Dude, it's got to be close to like heroin, dude, because it costs you about the same to fish tournaments as it does probably to do all that crap.
Yeah, I don't know which has a better outcome.
I don't know, man. There's a lot of guys that lose wives, girlfriends,
Lose
money. Yeah, lose everything over it. So, yeah, it's about the same.
Yeah. Look, yesterday, I know we're bouncing all around, but I told you I went to Darbone yesterday. And I love to fish, but crappie fishing for me is going out there around trees, setting yo-yos, campfire. That when it comes to catching crappie, that's typically what I am capable of doing. Well, since I started like live scope fishing a few years ago and like really kind of dialing it in, I like running yo-yos, but fishing up around trees and I don't like that. I'm the same way with bass fishing. I don't like bank fishing for bass a whole lot anymore. If that's where they are, I'm going to catch them there. But my favorite thing is out there in deeper water. And that's what I was doing in these like 15 and a half, 16 foot flats yesterday out on Darbone. Man, I was out there and the wind was you see my boat. I got it out there now, 18 foot express. It's a solid boat, but that wind's going to push me. It's going to push me on around. And I have my transducer on my trolling motor. And so it's not like I can just hit spot lock and hold me and then pan around with like a power or live foot or whatever they're called. But my point is yesterday, did I send you the pictures?
No, you didn't.
Dude, yesterday, I'll show you really fast. I got on them. The first time I've ever been able to go out there and had to start looking at my fish over, that was one of them.
Oh, yeah.
And then, let's see. But you see that coil tag in that one?
Mm-hmm.
If you'd have told me I'd have been coiling a crappie like that, I'd have called you a liar. But man, I had a lot of fun. Look, that's the best thing. I'm sitting in an ice chest. But I had to start coiling the fish. Because on Darbone you can't keep but 7 over 12 inches. And I didn't even worry about that. And I just so happened to look and I went and I'm telling you, I was throwing. I mean, it was so close to being illegal, but I was throwing my 8th fish over 12 inches in the live well. I'm like, I better look and see. So I pulled that fish out. Well, I say that, keep myself safe. I didn't throw him in there. I didn't throw him in there. I went, still had my hand on him, put him on my ice chest, has the little ruler on it, and looked, and I mean, he was like 12 and an 1/8. I mean, he's stretching him out as far as I can get him. He was a touch over 12. I'm like, you're getting a coil tag. And so I went and found another one, threw it out, but ended up keeping 11. But I was catching them in, like I said, almost a 16-foot flat on the bottom around structure, and it's just big, bright returns. And sometimes you couldn't even see it. They would be by themselves. But they would just be out there in the bottom. They're not suspended, swimming around. Like you were talking about, like floating earlier in the year.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't doing that. They were just sitting on structure, and sometimes you couldn't even tell if it was a fish. Like you could, but you could see like the crappie, like a 1.5 pound, 2 pound crappie, you get that good tail separation on it. And so you could see their tail moving a little bit, and you're like, yeah, that's not any kind of grass or leaves coming off that limb down there. Like that's a fish. And you throw down to it. And I was casting it out there like 30, 35 feet to them, and they'd just work that jig right over the top, and they'd smash it. And it was awesome. So awesome.
Yeah, man, live scope showed us a lot. The bass do the same thing. They'll lay up on the bottom, and to be honest with you, when they're hugged up tight to the bottom, dude, you don't know if you're throwing at a 2 pounder or an 8 pounder. Yeah. Like you don't know until it peels up.
Mm-hmm. Well, I didn't know
if you even see them.
Yeah, well, that's another thing too. I don't know if crappie. I mean, if bass do this, but crappie, they will. Completely disappear. They will go to the bottom, and I don't know if it's soft or if there's vegetation on the bottom we're not seeing. But they go, and you're looking at that graph where the bottom is. They go down there, and it's like they just dive right.
A lot of it's current related. A lot of it, yeah. If you I know a lot of people around here like Caney. So take Caney for instance. Caney, there's not a dam. We just got like a little 50, 60 inch overflow for water. So a good example of this would be like in the summertime after the thermocline's set up and all that good stuff. Like get a good summertime rain come through. And you'll see, like, before the rain, you'll see almost every fish in the lake is out there floating. Go out there the day after the rain and then see what you see.
They're all on the bottom?
The vast majority of them's on the bottom. You'll be scoping around in those areas going, where'd they go? Well, they're still there. They went down. And they're very hard to see.
Yeah, but really be looking at them.
Well, man, and that's just, with the overflow, dude, that's not a lot of current. And them fish still know.
Yeah.
That's why I love going to tournaments and like being at registration and asking random guys like, hey man, you know what the generation schedule is? Or like, if they're pulling water or whatever. And they, like, man, it's important to know, dude. Like you got to know it. You got to know if they're pulling water at this time or whatever. So, if you had fish doing a certain thing in a certain area, you got a good idea of what to expect at certain times of the day. Cause dude, they might float. If they're pulling water from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m., they'll be on the bottom. Well, if they quit at 10, you go back at 2, probably not going to be on the bottom, dude. They're going to be up suspended around the timber. They're going to be wandering around because there's nothing holding them to anything. Or on cover, not necessarily the bottom. They're going to hug up tight to something.
Because of a current's pushing them?
Exactly. They're not, especially the bigger fish, like, dude, they're not marathon runners. They're not trying to live on a treadmill.
Right.
Even if it's a slow walk. Big fat fish don't want to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so when was your first tournament that you were fishing that you're like, okay, I may want to take this to another level? Man,
that's hard to say.
Is it something that you've had a dream for a while and you kind of wanted to do before you went into the opens?
Dude, no. My dream before all this was to, play in the big leagues. And,
what happened there? 2 years, that's not very long.
I think I was with them for 4 years.
Oh, 4. Okay,
so
gotcha.
I played with them, I think, for 4 years, and then I played 2 years of independent ball after. Dude, it's more of one of those things where, like, you work your ass off to get somewhere, and then I made an error. And the error was that whenever I signed my name on the paper, I thought everything else would just fall into place.
Don't work like that.
No, don't work like that, dude.
Yeah.
You got to keep working.
Yeah.
And I got outworked.
Yeah.
So I had some injuries that I struggled with, but like it'd be easy to lean on that, but that's not what caused it.
Yeah. Yeah. I bet you use, kind of stuff we were talking about earlier though. Well, you use a lot of that, what you learned there to get you the level where you're at now.
Yeah, so tying that in with the original question, like, dude, I love competing. And, man, I was kind of lost after baseball until I started fishing tournaments. And then after that, I'm like, oh, dude, okay, this is it.
Yeah.
All right, I'm doing this. And then just kept doing it. Kind of started seeing some success. And then probably about 4 years ago, I made a...
Pull that mic into you just a touch. Yeah, there you go. Yep.
I'll say like probably 4 or 5 years ago, I started thinking about it, and because we got resources for everything we do, whether it's your time, your money, your energy. And I got to thinking about how I was spending all of my resources throughout the year. I was thinking, okay, well, at some point during that time, said, okay, I think I can do this. But I was thinking, okay, well, how can I get there? How can I maximize my efforts to get there? Dude, I love duck hunting. Love it. Like, I've duck hunted my whole life. And love all hunting, deer hunting. Anyway, just other things that requires time, money, and effort. And I got to thinking about all the resources I put towards other things that wasn't me chasing my dream. And I started using all of that. So now I fish 12 months a year. If I get a free day, I go. If the weather's horrible, I want to go even more.
Yeah.
Saves, a duck hunting trip. What's a duck hunting trip cost now? Just a day, probably $50.
Oh, you're talking
between
about
shells, fuel, just an average day. Yeah, just going on your own, like around the house, dude. It's like,
I mean, if you're talking about just not the $1,200-$1,500 Sitka waders and jacket and all that kind of stuff, you're talking, or gator tails, you're talking about just after all that's paid for. Yeah, I mean, you're not getting away with less than $50.
Yeah. So, dude, you tally that up, 10, 15 days, like, dude. And I know most kids around here, I mean, they're addicted to it like I was.
Yeah.
So you add up all that time, money, and effort, like, dude, I couldn't justify it. So I'm like, nah, man, like, I have to do everything I can every day until I get there. Or not even until I get there, because there is no finish line. That's what I learned from the first dream. The second you think you cross the finish line, you've already begun your descent. You failed. So that's kind of, I hope that ties in.
Yeah.
I kind of went all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, that's real. Like you don't like going in with high expectations of going and signing and playing pro ball and signing your name on the dotted line, and I'm sure just getting all this money and fame and everything else. And
I wasn't a whole lot of money. Wasn't a whole lot of fame either. But I mean, it was cool. I got to play with some good guys. So when I was with the Giants, that's I guess some of the older guys, they'll know. Like, I was there when Tim Lincecum was there, Matt Cain. A lot of the big name Giants pitchers from that era. But I got to meet Willie Mays, Willie McCovey, Gaylord Perry, like a lot of the Hall of Famers from the Giants. They bring them dudes in every spring training. So
that's awesome. So
we get to hang out with them. Lee Smith, I mean, hell, he's a Monroe guy. He's from up here. I don't know what he's doing these days, but he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I don't know that name, and he's from Monroe. I knew the others, but I don't know that name.
Yeah, and that was before I lived up here, but I remember that. Dude, he was the all-time saves leader for, I don't know, a long time, a very long time. Big giant dude. He's like, man, he had to be like 6'7" or 6'8". Man, he made a baseball look like a golf ball. Big boy. Yeah, giant human being. And as nice as could be, too.
Yeah. So, all right, so again, I know we're bouncing around, but I guess a lot of good information. So, played ball, didn't, came back, found your passion again, started fishing. Did you fish like the local stuff like media and?
Yeah, it was just media, like Fishers of Men, just stuff around here. And did that until, I don't know, maybe 22. And then I started fishing the ABA regional stuff. So that's like East Texas stuff. And then if you qualify, you'll go and you'll fish. You'll go fish like championships just on various lakes around the country.
So is that kind of the steps to get to the opens, like the Bass Opens?
No, I mean, if you got the money, I mean, anybody can fish the opens if you got the money. Is that advised just to jump into that? No, absolutely not, man. The dudes are killers.
Yeah.
Like, they can swing it.
So it's a big difference. I mean, I know it is, but I mean, it's a big difference, not only competition, but I'm sure just like the mental state and everything else of what you got to be ready for fishing like media around here versus going off and fishing with some of the best, like at the opens.
Yeah, dude. It's your choices, decisions, and outcomes. Just there's so much more at stake, and you got less time to practice. You got 3 days on more than likely a place you've never been. So I got 3 days to try to figure out how I'm going to beat the rest of these 230 dudes. It's definitely, dude, the first one on Rayburn, I lost 6 pounds in 6 days. And it wasn't because I wasn't eating. It was going somewhere. Dude, I don't think I've ever been that stressed in my life. And my practice was horrible. Like I bounced all around. And all my weight in that tournament come off of 3 spots I found in the last 30 minutes of practice. Like I was 30 minutes away from not necessarily having a bad event, but definitely not ending up where I ended up.
What'd you end up at?
7th. I was 7th in that one.
Dang. And that was this year? Yeah, so this is your first year to fish the Opens or second?
First.
First year, yeah. So what's up next?
We got Norfolk. That's the first week of April. It's North Arkansas.
Yeah.
That ought to be fun. That's actually one I'm looking forward to.
Why's that?
Just looking at the schedule, the 2 I was the most concerned with was the 2 that we already got done. And I figured Norfolk would fish a little bit towards my style more than the others. And Leech too. I think Leech up in Minnesota, I think if you're decent on the scope, you know, you can figure out the smallmouth deal around the boulders and at least get enough going that you'll be able to survive.
Yeah. So how long have you been fishing with live scope?
Since the beginning.
Okay. So, I mean, when was that? 6, 7 years ago?
Yeah, dude, probably
like the
around
beginning of live scope or beginning of you fishing, like taking it seriously?
Since probably since like 19.
Okay.
18 or 19. Whenever it started, I didn't get live scope the first year it came out. Like when the 32s came out, I had it the next year. So I can't remember exactly what year that was.
Yeah.
But I remember I got it right after Patrick Walters won on Fork in November. Because that was when everybody's eyes got open. Like, you can do what with it now? Because before that, we all thought like, you know, it might help you put like 1 more in the box a day. That's what everybody thought. Like that was common. And then he goes out there and he puts 5 giants in the box 4 days in a row, all on live scope. And that was when everybody's light bulb went off. So that's when all that changed. So,
I mean, there clearly was nothing to compare it to before. Like there hasn't been anything like that. But what is that? Is that what really most people, or was it?
Man, I don't know that that's necessarily true. Like, man, GPS, like Lakemaster mapping, like, dude, man, everybody can read a map now. Like,
yeah,
you want to hurt me or cripple me the most on a lake, you take that map away.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So that's your first number one resource over.
Oh, yeah,
over
absolutely,
everything?
Dude. I do everything off of the map.
Yeah.
If I don't have a map, I'm crippled.
Really?
And it's even my side imaging. Although side imaging is starting to get phased out a little bit. I hate to say phased out. It's still valuable. Like before live scope, I leaned on that pretty hard because you would use it similar to live scope. Like people would go, oh, you know, I'm out there looking for hard spots, or I'm looking for this, or I'm looking for that. No, mega side imaging, dude. I'm looking for fish. Like, yeah, I'm not making a cast unless I know one's there.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised how, in those days, how close you can idle to them, even in like 6-8 foot of water, and them not move, turn around, fire in there, and start catching them. But that's starting to change. I noticed that on Rayburn too. And I think that's, you know, you had 200 guys idling drains. And on the third day, the third day of practice is when I realized, like, hey, man, I don't think we can idle these drains anymore. Because, like, man, I don't know how many drains I idled and didn't see them. It was a lot. It was way too many. But, like, late in the day, it dawned on me, like, I shut down in a drain and I'm idling. Well, I hear a guy shut down behind me and he's idling right behind me. Then all of a sudden a guy like comes out in front of me and he's idling same drain. We're all 3 of us idling the same drain, just crossing each other. And I was like, man, how many drains on this lake are guys just constantly going over? Like it went from not a whole lot of guys doing this to now there's 230 dudes doing it. I'm like, man, they got to be running from us. Mm-hmm. Got to be. Then late in that evening, I just so happened to drop the trolling motor in the right 3 drains and saw them. I was like, okay, we can't idle these drains no more, man. Like they don't want that big engine going over the top of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, you got to be creative with all of it. With your maps, your side imaging, your live scope, like it's all you can't just lean on one or the other. Like it bothers me when guys go, oh, live scope, this and that. Like, man, it's a tool. But if you take any one of the tools away, you're less effective. Like, just pick one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one thing when I was talking to you while you were in Kentucky, that's one of the things you said. You're like, man, you're having to lean up. I think it was you that said that. You're having to lean on more than just live scope. Like you couldn't just stick and fish with just the live scope like a lot of us do when we're out fishing. Especially
over there, because like we talked about, there was current. So they were pulling water the whole time we were there. Although as the longer we were there, the less water they were pulling, which also made it a little bit more difficult. But like when they would suck up on those stumps, dude, 9 times out of 10, you wouldn't see one on there. But if the stump was set up right in the right area of the bar, you would just have to throw at the stump. And most of the time it would work out. There wouldn't be a whole lot of stumps that were set up correctly, but you were just fishing those stumps. You'd use the scope to basically hit your structure.
Yeah.
And just act like every one of those had one on it.
And
you'd go through. And if there might only be 3 stumps that were set up right for 2 miles in the river. Then you'd go on to the next 1, 2, 3, whatever stumps it was, and hit those and just keep running and running and running and hope that just putting the odds in your favor.
Yeah. So what are you looking for when you say set up right? What are you looking for when you're talking about? Because I'm sure you ran and you want to hold that till we'll hold that till the next we'll let you go and hold on to that little secret. But there are things you're looking at on the stumps. You're not going through there and just blasting it at every stump. There's certain pieces of structure and certain things you're looking for.
Yeah, especially when you start, because Kentucky Lake fish more like a river. So it made sense to me like where they would go with current. So it knocks down the possibilities. There's only so many places they can go, and they don't want to live on the treadmill.
Right.
So where can they be out there and get out of it?
Yeah.
So
gotcha.
Limits where they're going to go.
Yeah.
Big time.
One thing that I figured out, I've watched more live scope and like fishing how-to videos like with electronics. One thing after talking to different guys, and it's not that anybody doesn't mean well, but this is a lot of y'all's career. Like this is a lot of y'all's future. And so just like that, just then taught me asking about, as soon as that came out of my mouth, I was like, he's not going to answer that. Like it may be common knowledge, but you're just not going to give away all your secrets. But you go watch the how-to videos by, just say the top guys in the industry right now. There's secrets that they have when it comes to electronics and different tackle and different things and what they're leading on, isn't it? Like y'all aren't sharing all your secrets.
Dude, that's another hard one to answer.
Yeah.
You got to put content out there.
Yeah.
So you got to give stuff up. But on the other hand, like what's it worth to you?
Yeah.
Versus what you're going to get from that content.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, there's a lot of guys putting juice out there for, in my opinion, not enough. Like, dude, you're giving up stuff it took guys years to learn for a few clicks.
Yeah.
Like, dude, it's just about like anything else, man. The numbers got to work.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back to Kentucky Lake, I'm sure. It might be a year, 2 years, 3 years, but I don't exactly just want to lay out a map and go, here, man, here's how you do it.
Yeah.
Guys are too good. Guys are way too good, especially the younger guys, man. Like, hell, I watch YouTube before videos or before Norfolk, Kentucky Lake. Like anything that said Kentucky Lake on YouTube, I'm watching it. Like just trying to gain anything I can. And the high school kids are even better at that. Like they grew up networking and gathering info. So, dude, if you lay an easy roadmap out there for them to do it, dude, they're going to do it, man. Mm-hmm. So next thing you know, instead of it being, at the opens, if there's 140 of us out of the 230 doing this, well, now it's 200. It just gets, or 50 or, just pick a number. But if everybody does it, then it's not near as effective.
Yeah. That's one of the crazy things, like how much, like not just in fishing, but think about how much like technology in the world has changed. So I'm 30 and you're 35, but didn't you say you're 35?
Mm-hmm.
So we're right there neck and neck. But just think of like there's not been this like crazy just explosion of growth when it comes to technology or the way that we do things in life or even perceive things probably ever until like the last like 10 years. Like this is the biggest growth of, or I guess expansion of knowledge and technology that we've had not just fishing, but specifically fishing, what I'm talking about, you have the high school and college guys, they've done nothing but play Call of Duty, a strategic game. You got to have the strategy right. You got to go in there and, you're doing things that you're just mapping the stuff out, I guess is what I'm trying, without getting to the weeds. You're just mapping all the stuff out. They've done that forever and they've mastered it. I mean, think about the 8 and 10-year-old, like millionaire Fortnite kids that just played a video game and they're whooping people who's been doing it much older. Like just wild stuff like that. Then you start giving them electronics and teach them a little bit of the how-to and like the roadmap of catching the big fish and winning the tournaments. Dude, it's a different generation coming up right now when it comes to...
Dude, it's stout. Like, they can catch them.
And me and you, we're not old.
No, man, in the opens, I feel old.
Do you?
Yeah.
What do you think the average age is in the opens?
I'd probably say high 20s, but I mean, there's high school kids
in the opens?
Yes.
Really? I didn't know that.
Like they got them from, they got them from high school age to Rick Clun. I mean, Clun's fishing the opens.
How old is he? The older dude, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I forgot. This is bad. I don't remember exactly. He's up there, man.
Yeah,
like he's in his 70s at least.
Yeah.
Which he's a legend. I mean, he's been doing it forever.
Yeah, it's crazy watching, and I've done some podcasts and some video stuff with some of the younger guys, and one of them is Cade. He fishes on ULM. I did it with him and Connor Nimrod from Tournament Technologies. Cade, what's your last name? I don't remember. But anyhow, I did it with Cade. And that dude, you listen to the way he talks about it, I mean, it's wild. I'm like, how are you even thinking about that kind of stuff? Like, how are you realizing and learning all that and being able to put it together as quick as you are? So,
kids, man, they're impressive. Just trying to keep up.
Yeah, that's a good thing though. Keeps you on the edge. Keeps everybody on the edge. And I think learning new things is fun, and I think is healthy for you. Like getting where you're not good at something, or maybe being good at something like fishing before this age that we're in right now of live scope, all the electronics, just the things that are changing. Most people chasing suspended bass throughout the whole entire year, or not suspended, but chasing bass out in just open water in the middle of a big ocean is what it feels like versus banging the banks all day long. Those guys, the older guys, like Kevin Van Dam, for example, he's picked it up. He's with the program, isn't he? Like when it comes to fishing, like with electronics and staying up to date.
Oh yeah, man. All them guys at the top level, they're all good. They're like, they didn't get there by being slouches.
Yeah.
And when this came along, some of them picked it up faster than others, but like he's good. They're all good.
Yeah.
Every one of them will hurt you on any day of the week.
Well, and that's the thing that's so dangerous about them is like versus some of the younger guys. One of the guys we talked about the other day, dude, he is strong when it comes to fishing. Like he's solid, but they need to be out in deeper water, and he needs to see them on a screen, and like he can find them, but if they're not out there and they're not doing that, or the weather's not cooperating or whatever else, it's like it shuts down some. And so you have your older generation, and not old guys, just the guys that's been doing it before live scope. They knew how to fish and catch big ones before they had live scope. And so if they went and dedicated the time to really learn it, then it's
dude, you got to be able to do it all.
Deadly.
Especially, when you start looking at like points races and AOIs and stuff like that, you got to have a well-rounded knowledge of everything. You can't just be, if they're not doing this one thing, then I'm cooked. Like, man, that's no way to go about any of that. You can't do that in business, let alone fishing.
Right.
So, I mean, you gotta constantly challenge yourself with new situations, new scenarios, new lakes. I mean, if you're not challenging yourself, what are you doing? Especially if you want to continue on and go to the next level.
What does that look like for you, the next level?
Oh, the elites. I want to be on the elites.
It's not very many that make it to the elites, is it?
No, we got 2 more EQs. I'm sorry. We got 2 more opens. You only got to be in the top 50. So if you're in the top 50 from each division, then you go to the EQs. The EQs are going to be 130 of us. So it's going to be 100 guys from the opens, 30 guys from the elites, and then they're going to take the top 10 from the EQs, and those guys are getting an invite to the elites. So that's what we're shooting for.
Yeah. Ben Milliken, is he on he fished the opens?
No, he's in the elites.
He's in the elites.
Yes.
So
he could fish the opens, but I'm sure he's just too busy, man.
yeah. Well, and that kind of goes back to the thing too. Like, what are you willing to sacrifice some of your secrets and some of your, I guess, the things that all of you guys do for just a few clicks? But like in his case, that dude, I mean, social media is that, and not just social media, but just content, YouTube, social media, like that is his thing. And so it's more important to him, I would assume. I don't know how much money people make from fishing, like just from winning it, but he already has the sponsors. He's going to keep the sponsors. He's not probably gaining or even looking to get any more sponsors from winning tournaments and actual fishing the tournaments, like the elites. I would think that his main goal, at least it should be, I would assume, social media and content, like YouTube
absolutely.
and stuff like that.
Dude, there's nobody that I'm aware of that's making a living just off of cashing checks, because nobody's immune to bombing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care how good you are, dude, you're gonna bomb.
Yeah.
This is the most humbling sport on the entire planet. Like, you might have one year where you win AOI and you might end up 100th in points in the next year. So you just got to hang in there, but you got to be able to lean on your sponsors.
Yeah.
Or you got to have sponsors that believe in you.
Yeah. What are some of your sponsors? I see the Darbone Marine.
Yeah, Darbone Marine.
Old Brad.
Yeah, Brad, Mr. Terry.
Yeah.
We got Burns, Chad Patton, Chris Patton with Ditch Donkey, Kip Monalero. He's a couple of my sponsors. He's with Crooked Horn Services out in Midland, and Synergy Containment. Hold on, give me a second. University Inc. in Ruston, tattoo shop. God, I'm forgetting one. I'm gonna get hosed later.
It's good. Well, it's like when someone asks you for your favorite song, you've listened to it 3 times that day, and they're like, "Hey, what's your favorite song?" You just blank out. I put you on the spot.
Yeah.
If he left you out, we're gonna make sure that we're gonna look it up and we'll get everybody a good shout out at the end. Yeah.
Description.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. Absolutely. What boat are you running?
I'm running a Falcon this year, which I'm planning on running a Falcon for the foreseeable future. Dude, it's easily the best boat I've ever been in.
Really?
Easily. And I've done everything to that boat that you can possibly do to it, from raking it over stumps, and I don't mean like easy either, to putting it in skinny water, to fishing out there in 5-foot rollers and being fine. And it's done everything I've needed to and more.
Yeah.
And it don't beat you to death when you're out there in that big water.
Yeah.
So it's easy on the old back.
That 18-foot, that XP 180 out there, that Express, it'll beat you over the water. You get 5-6 mile-an-hour wind and a little light ripple, and you're doing this
dude.
the whole time.
Yeah, man, it's hard to operate like that.
It is. I'm not doing it on your level. I want to duck hunt out of it, deer hunt out of it, crappie fish, run yo-yos, kind of still go out and be able to fish some stuff at Caney and fish some bigger water. But yeah, I'm not doing the stuff like what you're doing. When it comes to electronics, what are you running?
I'm running Birds and Garmin right now. They got their benefits. I love Humminbird side imaging, and I love Bassmaster mapping.
Over the Garmin, what's the Garmin? Is it just
mapping?
Navionics?
Yeah, it's Navionics. Okay. They got some cool features with their mapping as well. Like they have their, I think it's like chart community, or I forgot what it is, but it's like where everybody's out there like basically scanning stuff on their own. Garmin like uploads that to a network, and it'll send it to your Garmin. So you'll have stuff that other people idled and mapped out. So, that's a cool feature. And you'll see that like on Darbone a lot. You'll have random tracks of other people idling that popped up on your screen, because we really don't have a good map for Darbone yet.
Because it's not on Lake Master, is it?
No, I've heard they got one. We don't know when it'll come out, because when the guy came down, supposedly he did Claiborne, Darbone, and Caney all at the same time, supposedly. Hopefully he turns loose Darbone. Although, I don't know. That might be bad, though. There's a lot of hottie holes out there that people haven't found. That
are on Navionics? That's not on?
Nah, not on Navionics. Man, if they turn loose a good map, a lot of guys will lose a bunch of stuff. So that would suck a little bit, but it's all right.
You get on them out there?
Yeah, man. The only time I don't like fishing out there, dude, I don't like fishing in the pre-spawn, man. It gets weird. When they leave the creek channel and they're between the creek and spawning, like when they get in that in-between, dude, man, it just gets, if you don't have current, it gets weird. Like, man, I think they just set up on random stumps and like 4 or 5 foot, but it might be 100 yards off the bank. It might be 10 feet off the bank. And it's just real hard to pattern them.
Yeah.
But pretty much from the spawn on, yeah, I like it. It's even more so when they start moving back out and then you introduce current, dude, they just get super, super predictable. So, man, you can get that out there on the creek channel and smash them.
You said you do guide trips too.
Mm-hmm.
You just do crappie or bass?
No, I do both. Although for a crappie, I cherry pick it because I like catching them as much as everybody else. But like if it gets tough, man, like, dude, I'm not taking anybody's money for that.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially, and Caney's bad about that. Like, you know, one of the bad things about live scope is, man, everybody can see them. So like on Caney, man, after May, dude, you want to talk about hard to catch them. Like if you go out there and catch 10, like it was a good day.
Yeah.
Opposed to like if you go out there and into April when they first move out to the brush, you might go catch 150.
Goodness.
It's just hard to do.
Yeah. Well, before the Majestic on Darbone, I'm going to book a guide trip with you.
All right.
Unless you fish it. Do you fish the Majestic?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I should be here. Yeah, as long as I'm here, I fish it. I try to catch all of them. The only thing that would interfere is if I have an open or if I get called offshore.
Yeah. Well, if you're in town, I ain't gonna pay you to take me because you're gonna put me on a gar hole. Like, man, you need to go fish this area, and you're gonna get me off from the good stuff.
Man, I wouldn't do that.
Nah,
dude, most of the channel holes on Darbone, you can catch a 10-pounder on any one of them.
What?
Yeah, so
is Darbone a sleeper for bass fishing? Like, I know there's a lot of bass tournaments out there, but when you think of Darbone, you think of crappie and decent bass fishing, but not like that.
Man, the channel bite in the summertime is awesome.
Really?
We do need to take better care of it because it has the most potential of any lake that we have up here because the forage base is so strong. I mean, that place is slammed full of gizzard shad. Yeah. There's way more gizzard shad in Darbone than there is in Caney by a lot. And we need to take better care of it.
Yeah. What are some things you think we could do to take better care of it? Like what are you talking about?
The drawdown doesn't help. I mean, that one. I know a lot of guys get upset about that. I mean, yeah, I don't like it, but I don't get that bummed out about it. But we need to keep introducing Florida strain in there. And the only way Florida strain gets in there is if we keep putting them in there. So like the hatchery stuff and releasing fingerlings, that's what we need. Like, because if you get too much of a percentage of like northern strain largemouth, then, you know, the biggest fish you're going to catch is like 5-6 pounds is a big one. You know, if you start seeing those fish larger than that, then they're at least going to have a percentage of the Florida strain in them. So the only way you're going to grow big fish is to have some Floridas in there reproducing.
How often do we put them in there?
Supposedly they're putting some in this year. You know, I don't know how much they actually put out on Facebook or on social media.
Is it LDWF or is it the town of Farmville?
I don't think Wildlife and Fisheries has been doing it. They used to put that stuff on the internet. And if you go by the website, last time I checked, it was like 2018 or something. But I think the Lake Commission has come through and put some in, but it hasn't been every year either.
Yeah, I know they did last year. So have you seen the town of Farmerville videos? You seen any of those?
Yeah, some of them.
Yeah, so I do all those. And so we just filmed it with Greg Hicks just this past, I posted it yesterday, but we filmed it Tuesday. It's kind of a short notice little deal, but I ain't got much, but I got a little bit of stroke with those guys. I'll make sure to push some of that because Steve Adams, I'll be meeting with him here. We got the Crazy Crappie Cash this weekend, and I'm doing a lot of the promotional stuff for them for that. And I don't know if he's the main guy. Oh, he may not be. Watch my luck. He's not going to be part of the Lake Commission. He just does stuff just for fun. But I think if he's not the main guy, he's one of the top guys that helps with a lot of the things that go on when it comes to the lake, and like on the Lake Commission. So I'll check with him. I know they put some fish. We did a video on it last year, but they put a ton of fish last year. But
dude, if we can keep up with that, man, it'll blow Caney out of the water.
Really?
Oh, dude, it's the forage. The forage over there is crazy. Like you can't think about how many crappie are there. And crappie are basically they're the same as like feral hogs.
Yeah,
dude, they're borderline a nuisance.
Yeah,
and think about how many crappie are in Darbone, and like the place ain't hurting for food. No. Like, dude, there's bait everywhere.
It really
and
is.
Things are down there eating everything they can get their mouth on.
Talking about the crappie. Yeah. How do you catch big? I'm getting selfish right here, but while I'm doing pictures and doing some video stuff of the crazy crappie cache, today's Friday. Yeah. So tomorrow and Sunday, I may have my little pole. I may try to stretch out and find them. But like, so those yesterday that I was finding out in that flat, and this is not going to post until I'm going to make sure that this doesn't post. And nobody listening, this fishing this tournament, you ain't getting this good juicy stuff. But I don't want spots. But if I'm trying to go and find money winning fish on Darbone, what are you looking for?
Man, crappie. I'm not the guy to ask this time of year.
Yeah.
No, I don't. Normally, like once February goes away, I don't mess with them again until they start pulling back out. Yeah, dude, when they start like getting pre-spawn and all, I don't know enough about it to be consistent.
Yeah. Well, like that's what I was asking. So you can tell a really big difference like on the returns. And so you go and like yesterday I was seeing fish and it's just a small, more of like your smaller crappie are going to be more of like a circular return. Mm-hmm. They may still be crazy bright, but it's going to be more of a circular return. Once you get to where like 1.5 pounds or bigger, you can see their tail like off a ways. They kind of look like this bottle, just depending on what color palette you have it on. But like if you're fishing amber, just a big, almost like, I don't even know what you call it. Just a bottle or football is kind of what I call like a vertical return. Big bright return is what you're getting. And when you get a little bit closer, it expands out and it shortens up a little bit, gets a little bit longer. You can see their tail and stuff like that. So you know that it's going to be like, okay, that's a fish that's a big, solid, bright return. I see its tail. That's what I'm going for. If you're looking, I mean, again, I know your main thing is bass, but if you're looking for like those big, like 2.5, 3 pound crappie, they still look the same. I've never even seen those.
Dude, and it depends on how they're oriented. So like, I mean, if one's facing sideways, dude, you can't really tell the difference. Like, yeah, he'll be a little bit brighter, but you don't know until you either got him going away from you or coming to you.
Why's that?
It's the way the sound works in the water. So like, if your sound is hitting him flush, if he's facing 90 degrees, like turned just perfectly sideways, all of your sound waves are bouncing off of him at the same distance. So that's telling the machine that all of this sound is in this one area.
So it'd be a smaller return.
Yeah, so you're not going to get the long return. Like a garfish is a perfect example. I mean, if guys tell you they got it 100% figured out and they know every fish species before they throw at it 100% of the time, they full of it. Because a garfish, when that dude turns sideways, is the size of a crappie. That dude is a tic-tac. Until you throw a bait over his head and you get that dude turned, and now all of a sudden that dude is quadrupled in length. All right, that's a garfish. I mean, there's tricks. You really can't tell anything until you get them coming to you. Same thing with catfish. Like, dude, everything's hot when it's sideways, and the dot is going to be smaller. And the second they turn to you or go away from you, that's when you can get a better idea of what you're dealing with.
So you're about to learn me something. So if me and you were sitting here, we're looking at the graph, and we're looking at a return. Just say it use a crappie, because I have way more experience with tail separation on crappie than I do bass. But if I go and we're looking at the screen, I know it'll be backwards on you, but if this is 0 distance and this is 100 foot out, and then somewhere right in there we have a crappie, and on the right side of it, you can see the tail. I've been thinking that fish was sideways the whole time, but it's not. If the tail is away from you on the screen, he's going to be facing you.
Correct.
I thought they'd be sideways.
No. Man, and a lot of people think that, because when you're looking at the screen, you're looking at it from left to right.
For sure. Yeah.
So it's easy for your brain to just go with the easiest answer, right?
Yeah.
That's what it is. But dude, so to be fair, I work with the borderline the same technology offshore.
Okay.
So I do ultrasound offshore. So I got a little bit of a background in like how sound works in material and like what it does. So, and that also helps with like how I set my units up and with how I mount my transducers. So like, depending on where you put your transducer on the shaft, or if you can get it off the shaft, get it off the shaft. Because even if 2% of that down beam is hitting the head of the trolling motor and you're losing, say, 2% of that sound, you're not getting your full return. Even on objects, say, that's out there like 50 feet, you're not getting your full return. Because even if you shoot all of your beam straight down, not all of it comes straight back up and hits the transducer.
Right.
Some of it bounces forward, some of it goes backwards. Like it pretty much goes in all directions. So even if you're losing some off of that bottom cone, dude, it's also hurting me out there. And with the level I'm fishing, dude, if it's 2% better, I got to have it. Yeah. I have to have it.
Well, that's low key why I really brought the boat. I wasn't telling you that, but I brought the boat just so I could be like, hey, just look at my stuff and make sure it's good. And
man, I'm using the Fish Obsessed mount right now, and they're not a sponsor. I paid full price for it, and I'm really liking it. It's making it easy, gets it up off of the trolling motor shaft, and I feel like it's keeping more sound in the water.
Yeah. So are you running a big thing that people overlook that I think is huge, even at just my level, like weekend warrior fishing, trying to just catch a fish, just having fun with live scope, not even for money. You got to have you got to have a dedicated battery for your black box and okay. By what you're saying, I'm about to be shut down. But let me tell you why I think that, and then again, you'll learn me something else. You'll teach us all something. I've seen when guys go and they hook it up, like firsthand, I've seen they hook it up just to their cranking battery, trolling motor battery or something like that, and they run just smaller cables or like wire or whatever from the very back to the front. You're going to get interference. There's going to be several things, and you just have just a dirty feed, and you're not getting a good return. And I could sit there in my boat, and I've seen it the exact same. I mean, everything's the same on settings, and like not even that. I'm just trying to go and help somebody else. Like, here's what I'm doing. Like, I don't know why yours looks that bad. And then they go and they get a dedicated battery, or scratch that, they get the C-Clear or whatever it's called, or they do something to help with their battery or like power management, and it changes it, and it's a whole lot better. Are you doing anything special?
No, I'm running mine off the cranking battery.
Yeah,
all of it.
So, are you running like any kind of like C-Clear wiring, or is there any kind of inverters?
I got 10 gauge wire going to everything, just so there's 0 voltage drop. But I'm not running anything special. Yeah, like dude, and it's, as far as I know, it's not hurting me any. Yeah. And to be fair, before anybody goes out there and starts looking at their scope, wondering if we're about to get a bunch of pollen in the water. So before anybody starts freaking out saying, "Oh, my stuff's getting weird," it's like, dude, call. Yeah, it's like trying to shine a flashlight through the fog, man. Yeah. It just don't work as good.
Yeah. Monster Marine, I've had a decent bit. I haven't used it like before and after, and that's one of the things we're doing here pretty soon. I just got to make the time to do it. But I have the Amped Outdoors. It's like the 16.4 volt battery. It's like the 48 milliamp hour or amp hour battery or whatever it is. And so I have that right by my black box. Like all of my stuff is at my front deck, like all of it's right there. From what guys are telling me, and even like the Monster Marine guys, they have, it's called a Bandit. You heard of that? It's like a little box, a little inverter box that
drop the voltage.
No, it picks it up to like 24 volts or something like that. And but they say you want to talk about a clean image and like notice a difference in your returns immediately. They say that you put that, it's called a Bandit.
I'm not saying it's not true. I got to see it.
Yeah. Well, and there's the reason I don't have one. Well, the reason I don't have one on my boat right now is because we haven't made time to do anything. Yeah, do the video, but we're going to.
If that setup is, if I see it, obviously, 1% better, right? Yeah, I got to have it. But it's still, to be fair, and I know it's probably going to come back and get me, but dude, it's hard for me to buy that system designed to work on 12 volts just works better with more volts.
Really?
With my machines offshore, dude, we got one battery. It's not like, hey, dude, like, you really want your machine to work better? Like, you get these higher voltage battery. So, I don't know. I got to see it.
So, you're not throwing it away and saying it's not there. No, you just haven't seen it personally. I
haven't seen it. I know guys that say it's better. I got to see it. It's hard for me to wrap my mind around.
Yeah.
And plus, like, dude, I've been using mine on 13 volts forever. I feel like I do just fine. So it's like, dude, if there's a bunch of dudes that were using it like that, I feel like guys who weren't would be getting their teeth kicked in. I don't know, man. That's a weird one.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're going to get me in trouble on that one. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the best answer I can give is I don't know.
Just I don't know. We'll just leave it there. Well, like I said, at least you're open to looking and trying. But that's what we'll do. I'll let you know. But we're going to go and do some recording on mine and see, like, do some testing and see, like, okay, we're right here. We're looking at this structure or looking at these fish in the structure or whatever it is. We're looking at this. All right, now let's go ahead and let's connect the bandit out there on the water. Let's go ahead, disconnect it. Let's connect the bandit in, rerun everything real quick or as quick as we can, and then put it back on it and look at the structure again and see if there's a difference at 20 foot, 50 foot, 100 foot.
Yeah, I mean, if it's going to run hotter and still going to give you good target separation, because that's a big thing. That's why certain brands are better than others when it comes to forward facing. Like, man, target separation's huge. So as long as everything jives with all that, then yeah, man, like, run it.
Yeah, wasn't that the biggest difference between the 34 and the 32 was target separation? Like, I know you have more of a narrow beam going out, and that was a big thing that's noticeable immediately, but target separation, wasn't that a big push of theirs?
Yeah. I mean, to me, that's what makes theirs the best is the target separation, which, to be fair, I haven't got to play with Hummingbird's new deal yet.
I'm going to look at it today. We're doing some videos, some pictures and stuff with that.
Man, I'm curious to see what their side imaging looks like on the Explorers. Because, we're not going to get into that. I'm just curious to see. And I hope, like, if they're as good as the Helixes, I hope they come out with a 15. Because right now they only got them up to 12. And I got ruined like 2 years ago. I had to borrow a buddy. I was running 12s. And I borrowed a buddy's boat because mine took a dump. And it wasn't a Falcon. Dude, he had 15s on his. And I'm like, dude, I'm ruined. Never again can I use a smaller screen like I can see now. Or I could see better.
Yeah. Well, that bigger display is awesome. Have you seen, like, the Battleship, like the 22-inch, that MBT
man.
Marine?
Yeah, MBT got some good stuff. Sea Light's got some good stuff.
Is it the Flex? Is that who makes it? Is one of them called Flex?
Man, there's a couple of them out there right now. Yeah,
I saw a video yesterday or the day before of one. It's like the MBT Marine. You know, you still got to have like an 8612 or something to be able to plug it, or like the 1242s.
Yeah,
or whatever.
and actually, so with the bass rules, we have we can only have 55 total inches of screen.
Isn't that crazy?
So,
That's
dude,
crazy
I'm not
to
even close.
Say.
Dude, I'm at so I got 15, 9, and 12. So, like, dude, I'm way under. So, like, I got plenty of room. Like, I'm one of the few guys still running 3 screens. Like, I kind of look like a goofball out there
because you only have 3.
Yeah, dude, I got my 15 at the console. I got a 9 for mapping, and then I got my 12 for live scope, and that's.
Oh, dude, so you're running the 12 for live. You're not running the 15. You're running the 12 for live scope.
Not 12.
Okay.
Dude, I like simple, man. Like, I just don't want a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like a bunch of stuff, especially, like, if I'm locked in on something, like, dude, I'm looking at that. I know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this, and I'm not trying to get distracted. Like, I'm just trying to do this, and I'm trying to do it more than everybody else and more efficiently. So it's kind of hard to do that when I'm looking at the scope, lining up on this, but wait, I don't want to miss anything on this other screen, though, even though this is the most important deal I got going on, like hitting the stumps. Like, dude, do I really need to be looking at another screen trying to figure out? Nah, dude, I already got those 3 stumps marked. I'm hitting those 3, and then I'm going to the next 3. It's a distraction thing for me. It's efficiency.
Yeah.
And that's another thing I think, like, guys miss on a lot is, like, the efficiency of it all. Like, guys aren't necessarily, like, better than anybody else. Like, I think in the opens, like, dude, most dudes are good. What's going to separate guys is the intensity and the efficiency of their day. So if there's 50 of us running stumps that all know the same thing, we're all got the same stump marks, the only way I can improve my odds over that next guy is if he hits 100 of them, I'm going to hit 150. It's the same thing with the other 49 guys that are doing it. Like, I have to do more with more intensity and more efficiency. And it all goes together. You can't have one without the other.
Yeah. So how do you do that without getting careless? Because, like, you think the first thing that comes to mind is you're just going to speed up and just roll through. Like, if I'm hitting 100 and you need to hit 150, you just got to go faster. Or is it that I'm just going too slow?
Don't waste time. Dude, guys are terrible about wasting time. It drives, and it's you can ask any one of my friends that fish a tournament with. Not a lot of guys want to fish tournaments with me because, dude, I'm too high strung. Like, dude, we got to go. We got to go, and we're going now. And I don't care if I say we're going to the next spot. If you walk too slow from the front deck back to your seat, I'm losing my mind. Like, dude, time. Those 5 seconds add up. Dude, I got tape on all my rods. So, like, say it's a minnow deal. And if it's a minnow deal, more than likely I'm going to have 3 of them rigged up there. And they're all 3 going to be different weights. So all the heads are going to look the same. They're all going to be the same color, same rod, same everything. All right, well, how can I save time on that? Well, I get 1 band of tape for an 1/8, 2 bands of tape for 3/16, and 3 bands of tape for a 1/4. And even if that only shaves 2 seconds off of every cast or every time I swap rods, dude, if you're swapping rods 500 times a day, those seconds add up.
Yeah.
How many times have guys made money in the last 5 minutes of the Derby? Well, dude, if you didn't shave time off of all the other crap you did, you don't get those 5 minutes.
Yeah. Or even less.
Dude, everything is efficiency and odds. How can I improve my odds? Like I don't buy into like the guy, this guy's just so much more talented. Man, it's hard for me to buy into that. Like, dude, this is not like baseball and it's Randy Johnson. Dude, 6'9", he got a 7-foot wingspan. Like, dude, we're all just dudes with a brain.
Yeah.
It's just who can use their brain more effectively and efficiently.
Yeah.
So it's in all of us.
Just going through and not just swapping rods. I'm assuming you're talking about just like deciphering the information that you're looking at on your charts, on how the fish are responding. Like
everything.
Because a bass, I mean, someone's told me before that you want to fish, you want to throw at a fish until he reacts, even if it's leaving and going away. You want to get a reaction from him. So,
man, I don't know, man. That's another tough one.
Maybe not.
I don't know that. I don't think that's how I necessarily think about it because I'll use Rayburn again as a prime example. So like after I did my drain deal early, like I had primary scoping areas where I thought if I grinded out in these areas for 4 hours, at minimum, I would get 1 good chance at a big one. And I went and shut down in this area. And the first thing I noticed was there's 30 of us in this area of timber that's probably 6 acres. I'm like, man, there's no way these fish don't know we're here. Like, even if they're 30 foot down, they still know we're here.
Yeah.
We all got scopes. We can all see pretty good. And during that time frame, I think I spent 2.5 hours in there. And during that 2.5 hours, I also had numbers in my head of how many I should be seeing, how many good ones I should see. So in 2.5 hours, I had it figured I should have saw like 6 good ones. Well, after 2.5 hours, I only saw like 2 good ones. And the two good ones that I showed it to, there was no reaction at all. Couldn't even get their attention. So like if you apply and say, well, I at least need them to move. Well, dude, you might have spent an extra 5 minutes there just trying to get the dude to move. And he wasn't going to bite.
Gotcha.
The gig was up. Like as soon as all those boats got there, the majority of the fish left. They got pushed out from us. And then the ones that were there, they knew the deal. So dude, you just got to think quick on your feet, man. And like, if it feels right, you're probably right.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you're showing them, if you're showing them the bait and you get no reaction, I don't have to get him to bite. I'm going on. I'm moving on.
Yeah.
Like there's more of them out here. I'm looking for the one that's going to bite on the first cast.
Yeah.
I don't care if that dude, every time you present that bait to him, your percentages go down a lot. Most of them you catch on the first or second cast.
So you're not the guy that's sitting on a bed or sitting out in some brush.
No, dude,
fishing
even
the
beds.
same fish for hours.
Dude, I love sight fishing. Love it. But 5 minutes. I put a timer on the phone. 5 minutes, I'm done.
With that fish?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, there's too many of them.
Yeah.
There's just too many. Most of them bite quick. So it goes back to the odds and percentage. Am I trying to look at 20 of them or am I trying to look at 80 of them? Dude, I'm going to go with 80. I'm going to say odds are in my favor. If I show it to 80 of them, I'm going to get 5 of the ones I need.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about all the times that I've set up on fish, even like yesterday on some of those crappie. that I'm sitting there and I'm chasing my foot. I got arthritis in my ankle now from that trolling motor back and forth, chasing this one crappie down. I bet you I did it for 15 minutes and didn't catch a fish. He would chase it up, turn vertical. I'm like, oh, here we go. I'd keep reeling. Nope, and go back down. I'm like, you sorry sap sucker. And I'd go back after him again and never caught him. Wasted 10, 15 minutes doing that.
Man, again, I'm not, crappie guys probably come unhinged. I'm not the guy to ask, but like, crappie are even worse, dude. I'll probably show it to them once and I'm moving.
Yeah.
There's just too many of them.
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably 20 to 1 more crappie in a lake than there is bass. And honestly, the number's probably even higher.
Yeah. It is a lot. It's a lot of freaking crappie. But like I said, though, you go and you see those small returns, there's tons. And I caught a few yesterday, but dude, there's so many. I don't know if they're necessarily males. I just didn't look at them that good, but I mean, just as big as that water bottle, like not the return, the actual fish, like an 8-inch fish or something like that. It looks like there's millions of them out there.
Dude, I'm sure you've seen it like in the winter. Like, man, when they're in the creek channel,
they just school up real big.
Dude, it's just the whole screen's crappie.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane how many crappie are in that lake.
Yeah, I've never seen that on Darbone, but I've seen it on Caney. They go to Caney even just a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago. But out there in front of the dam where, everybody fishes, there's 100 boats out there crappie fishing. But it's like, 40 foot out there in some spots, 42 foot, and it'd be 50 crappie. They're all just sitting there. And I've seen them in schools bigger than that, but just, 3 weeks or a month ago, then they're all just 50 of them, 100 of them, something like that. They're just sitting down there just chilling. And thing about the crappie that I've realized out there at Caney, though, you catch a couple of them out of it, and I've had other people, Nick, brother-in-law, he told me, he's like, man, you go and you catch a couple out of it, just leave. Like they're done. They're done for a little while.
Man, the bass are starting to get that way too. It didn't used to be like that. But again, that's due to us and pressure and live scope. I mean, that's something we're having to keep up with. But like most of the time now, you run into a group of fish, and it could be Toledo Bend, Rayburn, wherever. Just pick a lake. Most of the time, I don't care if there's 100 of them down there. More often than not, you got 5 minutes, and it's get what you can get for 5 minutes, and they either break up and disperse, or they'll be down there and you can't get them to move.
Yeah.
So you got to make quick work. So again, with saving time, like even if you're culling fish, dropping them into the live well, like dude, don't waste time. Don't save steps. Like, dude, go. Get the bait back in the water.
You think it's just a season that we're in, or like a little spell, or like a little era that we're in of fish being pressured like they are? Like, have we ever been in a season like this where fish are pressured like they are?
I don't think so. I think this is just me shooting from the hip, but like you look at the Japanese guys and you look at their techniques and their baits and the crazy dice and all this ultra odd looking finesse stuff. From what I hear, their lakes are relatively small compared to ours, and their fish populations are much worse than ours. So them guys have been dealing with this way before us. And that's why you're seeing all these crazy presentations that they come over here with. I think that's where we're headed. And we're just kind of starting to see it happen faster and faster every year because high school fishing's getting bigger and bigger. There's more people on the water than there ever has been. And it seems like you say that every 6 months. Like, man, there's more people out here than ever.
Right.
And then 6 months later, it's the same thing. Like, man, there's even more people out here than last year. And there's people everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's just something we're going to have to keep up with. And that's another thing with live scope and bass, dude. You got to be creative. Don't be afraid to think outside of the box. Like, if it pops in your mind, do it. Just do it. I mean, if it don't work, you're right back where you started.
Yeah, still with zero if it doesn't work. At least you tried it.
Yeah, because I've done some weird stuff to catch them. So, but you may not ever have to do it again, but if it's a thought or a possibility, do throw it, show it to them, see what they do.
Yeah. So you think that's with this, like, again, this little spell that we're in of so many fish being pressured on like popular bodies of water and then them just shutting down. It happens. It happens everywhere. You think presentation and different baits and stuff like that, is that the answer?
Yeah. It's going to have to be because you're starting to see it more and more on Caney, like especially this winter. Like there would be groups of fish and you couldn't show them a 10XD. You put it on them twice and it looked like a bomb went off. They'd leave. Like not even like scatter. They would just leave, change zip codes. Didn't used to be like that. You know, last year you could have plucked every fish out of that school and went on to the next one and done it again. And it doesn't seem like that. And the same thing, like I saw it on Rayburn too. Like it seemed like whatever damage you were going to do in those drains, you had 5 minutes to do it. And then after that, it was over with. Didn't matter what you showed them.
So you need to get on Temu and look for those weird hairy dice and all that kind of stuff.
Dude, I got them.
Do you?
I got them. I got a boat full of them. I don't know how well they do with largemouth. I could see it better with like spots and smallmouth. And that's something else too. Like other species of fish seem to handle the pressure better. Like spotted bass love chasing bait down. So they're a lot easier to deal with. Like I noticed that this fall. I went to Logan Martin in November. And,
where's that at?
Alabama. And it's a lake, but it fishes more like a river. It's similar to Kentucky Lake, but like the predominant fish it's spots. You can win with largemouth or spots over there. But like, dude, them spots are just so much easier to deal with. Like so much, and they get big. I mean, you can catch 3 to 4 pound spots over there, you know, fairly consistently. And the tactics you use, say for live scoping and catching them they're a great deal. Not a great deal. It's just different than like chasing a largemouth, say like on Caney. On Caney, most of the time when I'm throwing something over the top of them, most of the time I'm not trying to get her to chase it down. I'm trying to get her to expel no energy. Because a lot of times they'll just come up and they'll grab it right behind the hook or whatever. Like you're sitting there shaking that minnow, which that's something else too. We all shake the minnow and I'm pretty sure we're doing nothing. After you account for the big bow in your line and the 50 foot of string out, you moving that rod tip 2 inches, you're not shaking nothing. Yeah. That bait ain't moving. But so with the largemouth, like I try to let them come to me. I don't ever really try to like I don't try to get a reaction. I find more often than not, you wind up shooting yourself in the foot when you're trying to draw them to you versus you just letting them slow come to you. Like just let her. And same thing with the jerk bait. Like, dude, I'll sit there for 30 seconds. As long as she has forward progress, I'm not moving it. Like, I don't care how long she stares at it. But as long as she's...
No twitching, no nothing?
Nothing. As long as she is moving forward, I don't care if she's going an inch every 5 seconds. As long as she's moving forward, I'm not touching it. And you'd be surprised how many you catch on top of the head and the gill plate, whatever. Because they'll come up. Dude, I think they like bump it to see if it's real. And, dude, all you need is one treble. One treble to get them, and you got them.
Yeah.
It's just them largemouth there, I think, are just a touch ahead of the other species of fish.
Yeah.
But them spots, though, like them spots, you show them a bait, dude, like they get excited. They want to chase it down. So the more crazy, erratic, whatever you can do with it, dude, they'll come from grandma's house to eat it if you can do something crazy over the top of their head.
Yeah. And
largemouth don't like that. Or at least the big ones don't.
Yeah. So you on those big ones, if you're finesse fishing, like I know juggling a minnow, hovering a minnow in front of them, that's not technically finesse fishing, is it? Like, would you?
I mean, yeah, it is. I mean, you can do it with all different size of minnows, which I try not to get into too much.
Yeah. Like talking about or actually doing it?
Well, no, I'm talking like changing sizes and all that stuff. The only thing I'll vary, I pretty much throw a freeloader 100% of the time, and I only got 2 colors. I got the white one, and then I got gizzard shad, and that is it.
Yeah. And
I've thrown that everywhere I've traveled in the last 3 years, and they eat it.
Yeah.
The only thing I change is the weight, and it's a 4.5 inch bait. So, it's not small. I don't think you need to overthink it too much. I mean, you're looking for reactions, and you're trying to see what they want. You're trying to gauge how they're acting. And more often than not, the largemouth don't want to chase it down. Or if they do want to chase it down, you're on a lake where they probably ain't seen it much. Like they're dumb.
Yeah.
That's probably the easiest, simplest way to put it.
Yeah.
I think most guys that struggle with the minnow fishing, like they're just doing too much.
Like talking about just like action or just...
Yeah, action, like moving it, everything. Just doing too much. Like, man, just let them come to you.
Sounds like on the jerkbait, the same thing.
Yeah, same, dude. Just let them, if they see it, if you know you have their attention, dude, just wait. Just wait. And the more you move it, so the quicker all the rod shaking and all that stuff, that's the quicker you're moving the bait, the quicker you're getting it back to you. So now you're trying to expand a strike zone that might only be a couple feet. You're trying to make that strike zone like 30 feet. Man, it's a smart fish. Her strike zone is not 30 feet.
Yeah.
If it was, she would already ate it.
Right. How many times that happened to you before you realized that you'd go out there and throw it and have them chase and almost kiss your trolling motor before they go right back down to a brush pile?
A lot. Dude, what drives me insane is whenever I'm doing the slow deal and it happens more on the minnow, but like doing the slow deal and like, I'm also like ultralight, like, eighth. Typically I'm throwing an eighth, and that is when you got all that string out. So the more string you got cut in the water, the slower it's going to move too. So if I'm 60 feet in front of the boat and I'm 20 foot down, dude, that's a lot of string in the water slowing your bait down. Versus if I'm trying to keep it in that top 5 foot, like, dude, you got no string in the water. So that bait's even at an eighth, dude, it's still clipping along pretty good.
Yeah. Like
the amount of times you'll have that much string out moving that slow, and you'll have one just ease up. I mean, it just seems like she's going nowhere almost. And then you'll see your bait disappear into her, but you still don't feel nothing and you're still slow reeling. Then you'll see that rod tip just slowly start loading up, and then you'll kind of lean a little bit and then nothing happens. Dude, that's her grabbing it right behind the hook. Like she knows the deal. Like that's her basically checking to see if it's real. She knows if I just grab that last little bit, nothing bad can happen. And if it's real, then I'll choke on it. Like I don't think the result would change any whether you like gave her an extra couple seconds or not. Like she's already where she's at. She already wasn't buying it.
Yeah. And now she's for sure not.
Dude, it drives me up the freaking wall. Like, and it's hard to explain to people like, oh, she grabbed it behind the hook. Like, dude, I know she had it. Like, it vanished, and then there was pressure, and there ain't a stick around. Like, that was her. And she ain't got pockets. Like, It was in her mouth.
Yeah.
And that's something like, that's just a largemouth deal. Spots don't do that, dude. Spots slam it.
Yeah.
When they make up their mind, they're eating it.
Are you working on trying to figure, I know you are, but you have any leads trying to figure out how to make them, if they hit the tail, they know it's plastic. They know it's a freeloader.
Dude, you
working on something to make them think it's not?
No. Dude, it's not. Caney don't fish like anywhere else in the country because of how much pressure it gets. So like, dude, it's hard to say, oh, well, that's how they're going to act when we go somewhere. Dude, most of the time when you leave here, it gets easier. It gets a lot easier. You don't have to deal with that. There's things I've thought about doing, but you got to check the rules with bass. Like you could possibly add like a stinger hook, a stinger treble, and maybe run like a wire from the eye and kind of try to get as far back as possible. But I don't think we can do that. Generally, like with the rules, if it gets kind of weird, I'm just not going to do it because I'm not testing it.
Yeah.
But that would be an option. I mean, if you're out there just for the weekend, you can do that.
Try it.
Yeah. But I don't do it.
Yeah. What do you got to say to people that that want to get into tournaments just in general, or even they fished a lot of tournaments, they do pretty good, like the media and other trails around here, and they want to step it up to the open? Is there any advice you have?
For guys my age, or I guess like older guys, like not in high school or college, because you're gonna have two completely different routes. Man, I think it's the same as it was 20 years ago. Like you got to start testing yourself. Like fish a trail that's going to travel around. Like see if you can compete, see if they have a Alabama lake on the schedule or something. See if you can go over there and compete. Like that was ultimately what made my decision to go to the Opens. Was in the last 3 years with all the traveling, I consistently competed everywhere I went. Now, had I done that and did not compete, dude, I wouldn't even, I got a family, I got kids, I got bills. I can't afford to just throw money down the tube.
Right.
So I got to make sure that, hey, I can do this. And you're not going to know until you challenge yourself. So make sure you're challenging yourself, traveling around, you know, and also it's going to teach you stuff that you're going to use later on in other derbies. And the high school kids, they just keep doing what you're doing. It's high school, college stuff. I mean, dude, that's the way to go. That's such an easier route. I mean, those kids are already talking to sponsors. They're already getting their name out there. You know, they have all the things they need at their fingertips. Then it's going to come back to a work ethic thing and having people believe in you. So you do everything right on and off the water. Like, dude, people are going to believe in you. People believe in you. They're going to want to support you. I think that's everything, man. It's. I mean, I'm not trying to make it sound like, you know, older guys' situation's harder, but I mean, I think it is. Like, dude, we just got a lot more in it, or a lot more at stake. You know, I can't leave for 8 weeks fishing and I can come back with $0, or it cost us $20 to do that. Like, man, I can't do that. And then I'm sure there's 1,000 other guys in the same situation.
Yeah. So
just do everything in your power to prepare yourself for that. And also, if that means, like, dude, if that means culling duck hunting, that means culling deer hunting, or you gotta, whatever it is, all your resources need to be aiming towards your dream. And if you're not doing that, dude, you're shortchanging yourself and your family. So that's where I'm at with all that. And that's honestly, when I did that, that was where it all changed for me. I started fishing better. Everything started getting better.
Because of focus, you think? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, dude, it's, you only got so much bandwidth for the day, for every day. You know, you only got so much money, so much time. You start splitting that up between other things. Like, dude, what are you left with for your dream? Dude, you got to go for it, man. Like, I can't, dude, I didn't even make not one duck hunt this year. And I love it, dude. Love it. But like, I can't look at my wife in the eye and then go bomb a derby and go, well, I went duck hunting all winter while there was other guys getting better. Like, dude, I can't justify that.
Yeah. Dedication.
Yeah, dude, that's what it takes, man. If 1,000 other dudes want to do what you do, how you going to beat them?
Mm-hmm. Fishing 150 stumps.
Dude, everything. You got to leave it all out there.
Yeah. Well, dude, this is good. I know we kind of bounced around a lot, but this was a good, cause like I didn't really know you. Like, we've talked a few times, but like I said, up until you shared the spotted dog, one of our podcasts, I think the one was Zach. Mm-hmm. You shared that, and up until then, it popped up. And I knew of you, but we haven't met. I just knew you through like Tyler and Nick, and anyhow, I didn't even know that you lived here. And so when you shared that a few weeks or a month ago or whatever it was, I called Nick. I'm like, dude, freaking Brennan Flick shared the podcast. He's like, yeah. He's like, we talked about it, you know, some. He said, you know, he said other things. And I was like, wait, yeah, I know you know him. Like, me talking to Nick, I was like, Nick, I know you know him, but like, is he from here? He's like, yeah, West Monroe. I was like, no shot. And I did not know that. I didn't know. So anyhow, it's been awesome getting to talk to you and kind of hear what led you up to this point, and not just like tips and tricks or whatever. Like, it's been a good conversation. I appreciate you being open with it.
Yeah, looking back, I probably gave up more than I should have too. Well, some of that stuff.
You just text me and be like, hey, cut this part. I just put a big beep, put that over the top.
Nah, don't worry about it. It'll be all right.
Yeah. Well, it was great getting you on. Do you think of any more sponsors?
Yeah, Arc fishing rods and Pro Guide batteries, which I got Pro Guide on like 2 weeks ago, which they came through huge for me, because right before Kentucky Lake, man, I was having issues, and it was issues that would have been real hard to rectify before I got on the road. And man, they came through and helped me out big time. I mean, I'd have been in a big jam if it wasn't for them.
That's awesome.
And it works out because their stuff's great.
Yeah,
I mean, there's very few batteries out there that can say that they've got 44 years worth of experience, and it's great to get to work with them. And then Arc rods, you know, similar story. I mean, they were the very first sponsor I got on, and dude, it works out. Their stuff's awesome, man. I love having rods that I like having a big selection. I like where every rod has its specific task. I don't like trying to use a bunch of stuff where I'm using the same style rod, tip, everything for 4 different techniques. Like, it's not efficient.
Yeah.
Like, I want the best rod for the job. I don't care if I need 40 of them. If it's going to increase my percentages by 5%, dude, you have to have it. Like, it's just so important to have stuff that's good and reliable. And dude, Arc, they got everything. They literally have a rod for every job.
Is it ARC or ARK?
ARK.
ARK. Mm-hmm. You have any kind of code with them or something on the website?
No code. We're working on getting them into some local stores.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to work on that after this.
Dang. Well, I might know a few people you can call.
All right.
I'll share that with you. So, well, dude, I'm glad you came on. Tell people how to follow you. So,
just look me up on Facebook. It's just Brennan Flick. It's pretty easy.
Yeah. You got an Instagram?
I do. It's Brennan Flick Fishing.
Okay.
But Facebook's probably the important one. I'm on TikTok as well, which I've been slacking on that department, having some dude, I was going to video on Kentucky Lake both days. I got 3 GoPros. I could not get one of them to work right.
You know why? Because it's a GoPro.
Dude.
Well, I swore off GoPros a while ago, several generations ago. Just too many issues.
Right, you're going to have to tell me what I need because, dude, I kicked both mornings, and I chose a different GoPro both days. Like, it worked fine in the truck, and then I'd go put it on the yellow stick, or I forgot the name of the brand. I think it's Yellow Tech.
Yellow Tech or something, yeah.
I put it on the stick, and it'd be plugged in, everything. I turn it on, and about when my number would get called, I'd hear beep, beep, beep. And I'm like, dude, I'm not dealing with this all day. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, it's aggravating. DJI, like the drone who makes drones, they make little action cams. So DJI Action, I think they're on number 5 now. And they're solid, but you can go and you can get like the Osmo, the Osmo Action 3. You can buy those. They're from several years ago. Problem about them, they'll overheat, especially if you have them plugged into a power source. They'll overheat a little bit, and so the new 5s, my buddy Craig, shout out the Goat Rope, but he's been fishing with the 5s a good bit. I don't think he's had any issues with them overheating, but DJI Osmo Action 5. Unless you want to get into like the 360 cameras, that's gonna be the ticket. The DJI Osmo Action 5.
Yeah, dude. I wish I'd have had my second day on camera because, dude, it was too. I put it all on Facebook for anybody who wants to read, but like the series of events that went through on day 2, it's hard to believe. Like, I wish it would have been on camera because, like, dude, nothing was going my way. I mean, nothing. Like, it was going hard. It was a dumpster fire from the beginning, and just managed to scrape through. But yeah, I wish it would have been on video.
And you still got 15th on a lake you've never fished. And you've never fished smallmouth before then either, have you?
Dude, I'm telling you, the current saved me. It just made it more predictable. And I feel like when it comes to current, like I just understand it.
Yeah. Well, dude, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate you. All right, check him out, boys and girls, in the Bass. It's not the Bassmaster, it's just Bass.
Bass just Opens. Bass Opens.
Yeah, the Bass Opens. Brennan Flick. Do you have a number? You know, like Milliken, he has a number that he wears all like shirts and stuff. Is that just the elites that you have that?
No, it's not. It's just him.
Oh, that's just him.
Yeah, that's just him.
Well, going back to the thing, it's the difference between a tournament fisherman, which he does great at, and a content creator. So you got to create that following. But thank you for coming on. We've been rolling almost an hour and a half. So I told you yesterday we'll run.
Man, that went quick.
Hour. I told you, bro. I was like, man, you could sit here for almost Joe Rogan style. You can sit here for 2.5, 3 hours and be like, where did the time go? So, but I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, no worries, dude. No, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, we'll definitely get you back on. So, all right, be checking out 1st of April. You'll be
first week of April.
Norfolk.
Be on Norfolk. I think it's the 2nd and the 3rd is the first 2 competition days, and then hopefully I'll be fishing on Saturday.
Nice. You gotta make it in top 10.
Yep,
you'll do it this time.
I hope so, dude. My little girls were upset 15th was not good enough. Because Mama told them if Daddy made it in the top 10 that they were going to fly up there. And they didn't get to fly. So Daddy did not do good.
You got to stop slacking, son.
Dude, that's why I was like,
get after it.
Like, I don't know what to tell y'all.
I'm trying my dangest. Yeah, nice. All right, dude, appreciate you guys. Thank y'all so much for listening. Check him out, Brennan Flick, and wish him luck, man. I'm that's awesome that you just said like, hey, let's just do it and let's get after it. So that's inspiring. And plus your story is great too.
Yeah. And I mean, back to the sponsors, like, dude, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be able to do it. I mean, it's 100% like gratitude to them, because it's without them, none of it works.
Yeah. Well, check out the sponsors. He's got the Darbone Marine hat. They're out of Farmerville, Louisiana. And they have all kind of boats, and they have whatever you need.
All right, now if it's marine products, they have it.
Yeah,
whatever you need, they'll get you fixed up.
Brad McAdams over there, he's solid.
Yeah, Brad, Jet, Wesley in the back, Mr. Terry, Miss Stacy. Yeah, just grab any of them. They'll fix you up.
Yeah. Appreciate you, homie. Oh, all right, bye everybody. Thank y'all so much. See ya.